Good evening and welcome to Arsenal's Champions League game against Atalanta at the Gewiss Stadium in Atalanta here in the city of Bergamo, Italy. And Atalanta, well, they've had an entertaining start to the Serie A campaign. Continued on Sunday as the reigning UEFA Europa League champions came from behind to beat Fiorentina 3-2 with all the goals in the first half. With their 4 fixtures this term being 1-2 and lost 2, producing an average of 4 goals per game, they could be an entertaining team to follow in the Champions League. Arsenal will therefore be aware of the damage Atalanta can do, although they will travel high on confidence after beating Tottenham 1-0 in Sunday's North London derby, despite missing key players due to injury and suspension. Declan Rice will be one of those who will come back. He'll be available for today. Manager Mikel Arteta will be happy ahead of the big week in which they also take on Premier League champions Manchester City. So there's a couple of changes in that Arsenal lineup. In fact, the Leandro Trossard and Jorginho make way for Gabriel Jesus and Declan Rice from that victory over Spurs at the weekend. So let's take a look at the 2 starting lineups, and starting with Atalanta, and they line up as follows. They're managed by Gian Piero Gasperini. They have Marco Carnesecchi in goal. Defense 3 at the back: Said Kolasinac, Isaac Hine, Berat Jimcity. And across midfield, they've got Matteo Ruggeri, Ederson, Martin Darun, the captain, David Zappacosta, the Nigerian hitman Ademola Lookman, and Matteo Retegui. He's one they'll have to watch out for. He scored 3 times between the 20th minute and half-time for Atalanta this season, marking him as a very dangerous player. And finally, Charles De Ketelaere make up the starting lineup for Atalanta. For Arsenal, well, they line up as follows, managed by Mikel Arteta. David Raya, despite speculation that he might make way for NATO today, keeps his place in goal. Jurrien Timber, Gabriel, William Saliba and Ben White make up the back 4. Kai Havertz drops back into midfield today, along with Thomas Partey and Declan Rice. Gabriel Martinelli and Gabriel Jesus, who has scored in all 4 of his Champions League starts last season, with only Filippo Inzaghi, Diego Costa, Neymar and Sebastian Haller having scored in each of their first 5 starts for their specific clubs in the competition. Bukayo Saka is the starting on the right-hand side for Arsenal. For the substitutes for Atalanta, there's 2 goalkeepers, Rui Patricio and Francesco Rossi. Along with Odilon Kusunu, Juan Cuadrado, Mario Pasalic, Nicola Zaniolo, Ruel Belanova, Lazar Samajic, Marco Palestra, Marco Brescianini, and Vanja Vlahovic and Tommaso Delungo. Some tongue twisters there. For Arsenal, well, they have 2 backup goalkeepers too, with NATO and Jack Kenny Porter, who's only 16 years of age, Jacob Kivior, Leandro Trossard, Jorginho, Raheem Sterling, who, if he starts today, could mean that he will have his 4th appearance in the Champions League with 4 different clubs. So also on the bench is Ricardo Calafiore, shaking off an injury, Nathan Butler Oyedi, Jimmy Gower, Miles Lewis Skelly, Ethan Nwaneri, and here's another tongue tire for you, Zini Edine Oulad Mahand is the final substitute for Arsenal. And the referees and officials today are all from France. Clement Turpin is the official. He's age 42 from Willins in France. His assistants are Nicolas Dano and Benjamin Pages. Stephanie Frappart is the 4th official, and in VAR is Jerome Bassard and Willie Delyor. Arsenal in their red and white jerseys, white shorts and red socks will attack the goal to our left. And Atalanta in their black and white stripes, their black and blue stripes and black shorts and black socks. Arsenal pressed forward early on in this one. And this is the first meeting between the two sides in any competition. And the ball is picked up in midfield and knocked out of play by Kai Havertz. So it's going to be a throw-in for Atalanta, almost level with the halfway line. It's taken quickly by Kolasinac. And it's dropped back there to Hein. Hein will play the ball back to the goalkeeper, Karnaseki. Karnaseki clears the ball downfield, but the header is won comfortably by Timber. And it's picked up by Gabriel Jesus, but he's in an offside position. And it'll be a free kick for Atalanta. And already we have a comment in the comment section. Come on, you Gunners. Loads of easy names to pronounce there, Paul. Yeah, media, radio, jingles and gaming. Thank you so much. You are absolutely right. There's some real tongue twisters in there. I'll do my best for everybody, and I'm sorry if I get it wrong. Here is Declan Rice now, just inside his own half of the field. He drops the ball there back to Urian Timmer, who gives the ball to Gabriel. Gabriel releases the ball to Partey. It's back with Timmer again. He goes for the long ball, looking for the chasing Gabriel Jesus, but coming back there is Regari just to clear that ball up and send it back to the goalkeeper. And Karnaseki now, Marco Karnaseki clears the ball downfield, goes over everybody's head and through to his opposite number, David Raya. These two goalkeepers been around quite a bit. Goals against average for David Raya is 105 over his career, and 1.33 for Karnaseki, with a save percentage slightly in favour of David Raya, 74.2 to 72.2, and vastly superior on the clean sheets front for Raya over Karnaseki, 91 to 33. The ball is back with the aforementioned David Raya now, and he's going to clear the ball down the field. We are 0-0 here with just a couple of minutes gone, and Arsenal looking to set a example here early on. They're looking to get themselves off to the best possible start, also knowing that they do have Manchester City on Sunday. And we're just waiting. Ball's just gone out of play now. It's going to be a throw-in. And just give me a few moments. I'm just having some technical issues here. See if we can get the pictures back. Okay, I think we're just about getting the pictures back. I hope. Bear with me a few moments. We're just going to take a few minutes break while I just try to get the pictures back here. Right, sorry about that, folks. We seem to have the pictures back. Hallelujah. And the ball is currently just back in the... As it stands, you've not missed anything. The score is still 0-0. And it's Kalashnik on the ball now. Plays the ball forward, and it's hooked away by Gabriel. Up into the air. Tried to win that in the air from Martinelli. Jesus nips in and wins it. Gives the ball to Declan Rice. Declan Rice drops it back to Gabriel. He's being chased down by Zappacosta. But he gives a good ball to Jurien Timmer, and the ball to Timmer he's fouled actually is Timmer by Charles de Catala. And the ball is played forward here, and the referee is allowing the game to continue now. Declan Rice sends a long ball across to Bukayo Saka, just clearing up at the back. Really well there is Matteo Ruggeri for Atalanta. The ball goes out of play, and it's going to be a throw-in. Ruggeri just stopping it from going to a corner, as it seems, and it's going to be a throw-in. Actually, it must have come off an Arsenal player, because it's going to be a throw-in to Atalanta, level with their own penalty area. And it's going to be taken by Isaac Hein. It's flicked on there, headed down well there, and dropped all the way back to the goalkeeper, David Raya. Raya, just midway inside his own half of the field, he decides to go long. Up in the air to try to win that is Jesus. He does, just gets the better of Zappacosta. And it's flicked on there by Retegi. It's head tennis at the moment by both sides. And finally, Jurien Timmer just brings the ball down and plays it down the left-hand side to Martinelli. And the ball then just played off Zappacosta, goes out of play for a throw-in to Arsenal. And it's a bit of a shaky start. Jurien Timmer is going to take the throw-in. Hopefully we won't have any more issues between now and the end of the game. Timmer just goes for the long throw-in here and decides to find Martinelli, who hooks the ball onto Jesus, but Jesus is dispossessed well that time. And now the ball is played out wide. And here's an opportunity for Lookman now on the break, down the left-hand side. Ademola Lookman, he holds the ball up and drops it back into his own half. It's now with Hein. Hein just holds the ball up and plays the ball across there to Kolasinac. And back to the goalkeeper there. And he lifts it out as far as the number 19, Jim City. Jim City just lets the ball break loose and gets the ball back to Darun. Darun holds the ball up just outside his own penalty area. Plays the ball across there to Kalashnik. Kalashnik holds the ball up. Looking for options left and right, and he finds Hines. Hines finds the number 15, the captain, Darun. Back to Hein again, just inside his own half of the field now, inside the centre circle. Good ball there by Kalashnik, out on the left-hand side to Ruggeri. Ruggeri tries to play the ball forward. Here's Lookman. Holds the ball up there now. It's a really good ball to Zappacosta down the right-hand side. Can Zappacosta get the ball into the middle? No, he holds it up. He drops it back in fact, for the number 19, Jim City. Jim City gets across to the back post, and it's over Ademola Lookman's head. And just clearing up at the back there and allowing it to go out of play is Bukayo Saka. And it's going to be a throw-in for Arsenal. And it's taken quickly. And here's Partey to Gabriel Jesus. Jesus sends the ball off to Kai Havertz now, down the left-hand side. Kai Havertz plays the ball forward. Thomas Partey picks it up. Partey gives the ball there to Ben White. To Bukayo Saka. Down the right there. Bukayo Saka to Ben White. Back to Thomas Partey. Saka picks up the ball. Does a quick 1-2 with Rice, but Saka goes down. And it's a free kick to Arsenal right on the edge of the penalty area. And a yellow card has been waved in the face of Kalashnik. Is it Kalashnik or Ederson? I'm just not quite sure. I'm just going to just take another look at that. Yes, it's Ederson who's got the first yellow card of the game. And on 12 minutes, Ederson is booked for that foul. He made no attempt to win the ball. He just brought down Bukayo Saka. Definitely within the rules. That would be a free kick. And Arsenal now will have a free kick, which is just by the corner of the D. I'd argue about 20 yards out. And the free kick is going to be taken probably by Bukayo Saka, who's standing over it right now. This would normally be Odegaard's position, but of course he's injured right now, and he's expected to be out for about 8 to 12 weeks. So we'll just see whether this how this free kick is going to go. Bukayo Saka is standing over it. He may decide to curl it around the wall. There's 4 men in the wall for Atalanta. Arsenal also forming their own makeshift wall on the end of that, just to make the goalkeeper's view as difficult as possible. Havertz, Gabriel and Martinelli join that end of the wall. And just Bukayo Saka still eyeing this one up. Also standing over it is Declan Rice. You never know, it may be Declan Rice. The referee's still trying to ensure that the wall remains behind the white line. Finally, I think the referee is satisfied that that is the case. And Bukayo Saka and Declan Rice both standing over this one. Let's wait and see here now. Is it going to be? It's Bukayo Saka through the wall. Oh, a super save! And it bounces loose almost to Thomas Partey. Has that gone behind for a corner? I think the referee has given a goal kick. But what a super save from the goalkeeper. It took a deflection off the Arsenal player, and it looked for all ends up like it was sneaking into the corner. But Marco Carnesecchi gets across and makes a superb save, and then blocks Thomas Partey afterwards as well. But that's the first chance of the game for either side. Arsenal, Thomas Partey was in fact given offside in that as well. But that's the first opportunity really for either side. Carnesecchi making a fine save for Atalanta there. And it's cleared downfield, but only as far as Jurrien Timmer. Timmer gives the ball to Declan Rice. Back to Timmer. He's under pressure here by Zappacosta, and Zappacosta fouls him. It's going to be a free kick now. Taken quickly. Here's Kai Havertz. Drops it back to Thomas Partey, and plays it across to Ben White, who tries to set off Gabriel Jesus on his way. Gabriel Jesus picks up the ball, but he's dispossessed that time by Kolasinac. And Kolasinac plays the ball to Ruggeri. Ruggeri, long ball down to this right-hand side to Zappacosta. Zappacosta drops the ball to De Roon. De Roon has got options left and right for the Dutchman. He decides to go down to Zappacosta on the right. Zappacosta holds the ball up midway inside the Arsenal half of the field. And there is Jim City. Plays the ball in the middle to De Roon. Back to Jim City. Jim City into the centre circle to Hines. Hines plays the ball across there to Ederson. The ball is dropped back to De Roon. De Roon's got options left and right. Again, he goes down to Zappacosta down the right-hand side. The ball is dropped back to Jim City. Jim City plays the ball forward to Retegui. Retegui lays it off, lifts the ball back into the middle to Jim City, and it's headed out of play by Declan Rice. Really good defending by the midfielder there. As Ademola Lookman just lifted the ball into the box there. It really was a superb ball, but it was read so well by Declan Rice, who headed the ball out of play ahead of Berat Jim City. And it's going to be a corner which Ademola Lookman is going to take down the right-hand side. And this is the first bit of pressure we have for Atalanta. It's swung in, and it goes all the way across to the edge of the penalty area, right the way back across to Ederson. Ederson, and it's swung in there by Ruggeri and headed over the bar by Hines. And it's going to be a goal kick to Arsenal. We've had 15 minutes gone here. It's Atalanta 0, Arsenal 0. If you want to just keep an eye on the scores at the bottom, they are being updated now by Ross. Those are the other Champions League scores from today. Ross is going to update those for you in a moment. So just keep an eye on those on the bottom of your screen. I will read them out. Atletico Madrid are 1-0 down right now. Monaco are 1-0 up against Barcelona, and Barcelona are down to 10 men. Earlier on, Leverkusen beaten Feyenoord, and Red Star fell at home to Benfica. So those are your latest scores. And the referee was just checking something with VAR, but I'm not sure exactly what that was. But the game is back underway now. And it's been released by David Raya. And it's given to Gabriel. Gabriel drops the ball back to David Raya. David Raya holds the ball up. De Ketelaere just watching on. We know how dangerous he can be. 4 attempts by Arsenal, 2 on target, none for Atalanta so far. It's picked up by Kai Havertz in an advanced position. He drops the ball back there to Timmer. Timmer drops the ball back to Havertz. Havertz under pressure here by De Ketelaere, and De Ketelaere knocks the ball out of play. And it's going to be a throw-in now for Arsenal with Kai Havertz. And it's level with the Atalanta penalty area. Havertz, in fact, leaves it for Jurrien Timmer. Timmer has got Martinelli asking for it. He's taking his time here. He's got plenty of options. He's going to get a yellow card if he's not careful. Jurrien Timmer finally throws the ball, and it's to Martinelli. Martinelli pulls the ball back, and it's back with Martinelli, and he gets a shot away, and it's over the crossbar. And Martinelli just making a little bit of room for himself in the penalty area. It was just knocked on, in fact, off Gabriel Jesus to Martinelli, back into Martinelli's possession. It was a half chance for the Brazilian, it has to be said, but it goes over the crossbar, and it's going to be a goal kick. 18 minutes gone here. Atalanta 0, Arsenal 0. Cleared downfield and headed on there by Ruggieri, but it goes all the way through to the goalkeeper. David Raya signed on permanently with Arsenal now, of course, and not for a cheap fee either. 32 million, actually 31.9 million euros was the final fee agreed with Brentford for the permanent services of David Raya. Ball picked up in midfield here by Ederson, but it's going to be a free kick, I think, because Kolasinac has gone down. Looks like he was, see a clash with Kai Havertz, who was waving his arm recklessly there. Hardly, I mean, he made contact with the player, but the player went down like he'd, been hit with a spade to the back of the head. I really don't think it was that bad, but it's a free kick, nevertheless, to Atalanta. And cleared downfield by Kanasaki, the goalkeeper. Not the best of clearances. Goes out of play for a throw into Arsenal, almost level with the halfway line. And it's going to be taken here by Ben White, who's going to go for the long one, I think. He's got options more close by with Thomas Partey there. He's also got Kai Havertz. He decides to go for the super long one, looking for Gabriel Jesus, but the referee has awarded a foul throw there. And it's going to be a throw-in now to Atalanta, a rare case of a foul throw. And not in quite agreement, Mikel Arteta there. I actually think he crossed the touchline before throwing it, I think was the reason for the foul throw. Karnaseki clears the ball downfield now. Up in the air there is De Ketelaere, but that goes out of play. And it's going to be a throw-in for Arsenal, which is going to be taken by Jurrien Timmer down this left-hand side. He's about 6 yards inside his own half of the field. Thank you very much for joining us today for this game between Atalanta and Arsenal at the Gewiss Stadium in the city of Bergamo, Italy. And Arsenal and Atalanta beginning their Champions League campaigns. Atalanta after this have Shakhtar Donetsk, Celtic, Stuttgart, Young Boys, Real Madrid, Sturm Graz and Barcelona, whereas Arsenal have Paris Saint-Germain, Shakhtar Donetsk, Inter, Sporting Monaco, Dinamo Zagreb, who of course got spanked by Bayern Munich 9-2 the other night, and Girona. One would expect Arsenal to do well out of those fixtures. It's with Gabriel. Gabriel drops the ball now to Jesus. Jesus looking for options left and right. He decides to drop the ball back in the middle to Saka. And the ball is now with Gabriel. Back here to Saliba. Saliba to Ben White. Oh, that's a good ball to Kai Havertz. Havertz moving into the middle. And that's a good ball by Thomas Partey. Down the left-hand side to Jesus. Jesus tried to flick the ball on there to the on-running Thomas Partey. Jesus still has possession. He goes down there under the challenge from Hein, but the game goes on. And here's Lookman. Lookman plays the ball down to De Ketelaere. De Ketelaere to De Roon, the captain, just over the halfway line now for Atalanta. Back to De Ketelaere. into the centre circle to Hines. Hines holds the ball up and he gives the ball to Ederson, who gives the ball to Lookman. And now down the right hand side there was Ruggieri, but he gives the ball now to Ederson, and Ederson is alleged to have fouled. Just trying to see who that is down there. It's Kai Havertz, and it's going to be a free kick to Arsenal. Just a yard or two in from the touchline down the right hand side. Media, radios and jingles and gaming, thanks for joining us today. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Let's hope Arsenal do well in all those Champions League fixtures, including this one. This one is, I think, going to be a slightly tougher one than many of the others. Atalanta running at 4 goals per game. Be a real test for that solid Arsenal defence as well. David Raya clears the ball downfield over the halfway line. The heads go up with Jesus and Hines. Hines wins that header. And it goes out of play, and it's going to be a throw-in. And the throw-in is going to be taken by Ruggieri. And Arsenal starting off very well. Clement Turpin, our official today. He was one of the officials in the European Championships this past summer in Germany. Here's Hein. Drops the ball back there to Jim City. Jim City gives the ball back to the goalkeeper, Karnaseki. Karnaseki releases the ball. Oh, and it's the ball has been given away poorly there by Ederson, and it's picked up in midfield here now by Thomas Partey. Partey has got options left and right. He decides to give the ball to Salibu, gives it to Gabriel. Gabriel holds the ball up and drops it now to Gabriel Martinelli. Midway inside the Atlanta half of the field, makes his way back into his own half to Gabriel. Here's Thomas Partey again. Declan Rice. Rice drops the ball back to Gabriel. Again, just inside his own half, about 3 yards. Throws the ball forward there, looking for Jesus. Jesus heads it down well to Martinelli. Martinelli's first touch was a poor one, and Hines wins it back, but he gives the ball away back to Gabriel, who gives the ball to Thomas Partey. Partey just holds the ball up and drops it back to Declan Rice. Partey just tries to find Havertz there, but nipping in well is Kolasinac there to make the challenge. And he has the ball now on the edge of his own penalty area. And he finds Hein. Hein plays the ball across there to Jim City. And Jim City launches the ball over the halfway line. It's brought down well by Retegi. Retegi holds the ball up. It's a free kick. And that is going to be a yellow card. He was about to take the free kick, Retegi, and Declan Rice, as if he'd not been through enough by doing that, did the same thing again. This time didn't get the yellow card by Clement Turpin. So having gone through that the other week at Brighton, getting suspended, nearly did the same thing. Well, he did do the same thing again, but this time did not get a yellow card. So there we go. Perhaps some consistency differences between referees on the European mainland versus those in the UK. Here's Hein. Hein plays the ball forward there, and it's picked up by Emerson. Emerson to Lookman. Emerson is fouled. Clement Turpin says play on. And Lookman gives the ball across on the far side to Ruggieri. Back to Lookman. It's back to Ruggieri and Lookman again. Here's Ederson, knocks the ball on. Back with Ederson again. Ederson to Ruggieri, holds the ball up, and it's Ederson again who swings the ball in. It's headed out there by Saliba. Got good distance on that, all the way back to the halfway line. And it's Hines who picks it up right there. Gives the ball to Martin Deroon. Deroon sends it down to Zappacosta. Zappacosta down the right-hand side, swings the cross in. It goes all the way the full width of the pitch, and it's picked up by Ruggieri. Gives the ball to Lookman. Lookman, corner of the penalty area, left-hand side, tries to swing the ball in, and 2 players go down in the penalty area there. Nothing really in that, and it's now back with Hein, and this is a good period of possession for Atalanta. 26 minutes gone here. It's Atalanta 0, Arsenal 0 at the Gewiss Stadium in the city of Bergamo, Italy. And it's a great evening for football. And you can see possession 54% favouring Arsenal with 108 completed passes. And the ball now is played over the halfway line to Kai Havertz as Arsenal win the ball back. Gives the ball to Declan Rice inside the centre circle. Declan Rice plays the ball there to Jesus. Drops the ball to Ben White. It's now back with Declan Rice. Rice to Thomas Partey. Partey back to Declan Rice. Down the right-hand side here to White. He swings across in. It's headed out there by Kolasinac. Only as far as Declan Rice. Back to the halfway line there to William Saliba. Saliba back to Rice. Rice, good ball down the right-hand side to Ben White. Ben White tries to set off Gabriel Jesus on his way, and Hein just kicks the ball out of play. It's offside anyway. And we've got a couple more comments in the comment section. I'm doing very well, thank you. And Rice needs to be careful. We don't want to lose him again, especially against Manchester City. Well, the red cards, if he was to get a red card in this game, it wouldn't affect his appearances in the Premier League, but it will affect the Champions League. So he'd miss the next Champions League game. But I believe it wouldn't affect his suspensions in the Premier League, so he should still be available. But you're absolutely right; he needs to be more careful than that. But the ball now is with Ruggieri. Cindy's in the chat. Hi, Cindy. Hope you're well. Let's know where you're listening from. And it's the ball is now with De Ketelaere. De Ketelaere down the right-hand side. Just trying to get away there from Martinelli. This is good work from De Ketelaere. He tries to play the ball back to Martin de Roon, his countryman. De Roon just drops the ball back sort of midway inside now the Arsenal half of the field. It's dropped back to Jim City. Jim City to De Ketelaere. De Ketelaere to de Roon. De Roon down the right-hand side. And it's picked up by De Ketelaere again. And back to de Roon. De Roon to Hein. Hein plays the ball across to Kolasinac. Picked up by Ruggieri and into Lookman. Lookman has got a bit of space in front of him now. Ademola Lookman. He's got Jim City and De Ketelaere left and right. Gives it to De Ketelaere. It's now with Jim City. Overlapping there is number 77, Zappacosta. Zappacosta drops the ball back there to Jim City. Jim City back to Zappacosta with a shot, but it's well wide. Well, that was a chance really for Atalanta. Should have done a little bit better there, Zappacosta. And Cindy is an Arsenal fan in the UK. Good to have you on board, Cindy. I hope you enjoy the coverage. And you see that he just flew across sort of the face of the goal. He really should have done a little better there. That was the first time that Atalanta have really got inside the Arsenal defence in the first half hour of this game. And the ball is cleared down by David Raya. It's flicked up into the air and brought down well, that time by de Roon. But Arsenal win the ball back. And it's Declan Rice now. Just gives the ball there to Martinelli. Plays the ball back into his own half to Gabriel. And across there to William Saliba. Midway inside their own half, Arsenal now. And it's Ben White. Plays it forward to Saka. Over the halfway line there goes Havertz. Gives the ball back to Saka. Saka tries to play the long ball through to Kai Havertz. But it goes all the way through to the goalkeeper. Oh yeah, no problem. If you want to subscribe, Cindy, on the channel, please feel free to do so. I usually bring the Arsenal games to the channel. Likewise, also an Arsenal fan. I'd have to be neutral though, but yeah, I usually bring the Arsenal games as and when I can. So if you want to like and subscribe to the channel, please feel free to do so. It's cleared downfield now by the goalkeeper, Marco Carnesecchi. It's won in midfield there by Partey, but it's won back now by Atalanta. And Ruggieri plays the ball forward. And just over there is De Ketelaere. De Ketelaere tried a back heel, but that wasn't the cleverest thing to do. And Arsenal win the ball back. But they have given the ball away again. That's sloppy play by Ben White. And now here's Lookman again. Corner of the penalty area, left-hand side. Gives the ball to De Ketelaere. It's swung in by Ruggieri and hacked away by Timmer. All the way out to almost the halfway line, but but Atalanta still have the ball. It's Ederson. Gives the ball to de Roon, midway inside the Arsenal half of the field. Down this right-hand side now to Jim City. Jim City does a quick 1-2 with De Ketelaere. It's now with De Roon, back into the centre circle. Arsenal pushing back well. Oh, it's given away by Hines. And now all of a sudden, can Arsenal break away? And Hines brings down Gabriel Jesus there, but no further action from the referee. Jesus can't believe it, but it is in fact no free kick from the referee. And McGarry has now got the ball for Atalanta, who's breaking down the left-hand side. The ball is dropped into the midfield to Hines, into the centre circle, and it's now with De Roon. De Roon plays the ball down to the right-hand side to Zappacosta. Tries to get the cross in, but that is a good block by Timmer. It only breaks loose, though, for the number, I think that's Jim City there. And across there now is the number 15, De Roon. And the ball is back with Kolasinac as Arsenal pressing Atalanta back into their own half. Here's De Roon again, the captain for Atalanta. Plays the ball down the right-hand side to Zappacosta. Zappacosta plays the ball through there, looking for De Ketelaere. De Ketelaere somehow manages to keep the ball in play. It was or has he? No, the ball has gone out of play. Zappacosta's pass was just had way too much meat on it. And unable to control that was De Ketelaere. It goes out of play. Thanks very much, Cindy. Appreciate that. And you're right, all commentators need to be neutral, so I try and be as neutral as possible in the Arsenal games. It's all about being professional in the job. And Timmer here now is midway inside his own half. He throws the ball long. Oh, it's flicked on there by Kai Havertz, but it's won in the air by De Roon and goes out of play off Jurrien Timmer. It's going to be a throw-in down the left-hand side for Atalanta midway inside their own half of the field. And picked up inside his centre circle here is the number 23, Kolasinac. Kolasinac again. Tries to lift the ball over the top, looking for Lookman. That's a good interception by Saliba. And Thomas Partey then just plays the ball off Retegui, and it's going to be a throw-in for Arsenal. Matteo Retegui. We know how dangerous he can be. He scored 3 out of 4 goals in the first half an hour. Now, he's not done that today. He's done that in Serie A. So he's a threat that Arsenal are going to have to watch. Here's Lookman, another threat. Ademola Lookman, very dangerous down that left-hand side. And it's now with Hein. Hein just drops the ball down to Jim City. Midway inside his own half of the field. De Roon just tries to clear it away, but chasing in there was Declan Rice. And it came off the England international and then went out of play. And it's going to be a throw-in. And Arsenal have really pressed Atalanta back into their own half of the field. This throw-in for Jim City, he's just laid off now to Zappacosta, is almost level with his own penalty area. And it goes out to play again off Declan Rice one more time. And Zappacosta is going to get another bite at the cherry here. And he's got options available. It's tight marking. It's finally hooked away by Ederson. Only as far as Gabriel. Gabriel gives the ball to Thomas Partey. Just inside his own half of the field here is Ben White. And he drops the ball back to William Saliba. And Saliba is midway inside his own half of the field. Holds the ball up here now and making a quick run for it over the halfway line. You can see the passes completed for 182 for Atalanta, 130 for Arsenal, as Thomas Partey plays the ball there to Bukayo Saka. Saka to Ben White. Holds the ball up and back to Partey. He's midway inside the Atalanta half of the field. Oh, he was looking there for Gabriel Jesus, but it just goes behind the Brazilian, who is deputising as captain tonight for the injured Bukayo Saka. And just looking at the injury crisis that Arsenal faces, Odegaard, as mentioned earlier, going to be out for 8 to 12 weeks probably. Takahiro Tomiyasu is out with a knee injury. Calafiore is fit again and he's on the bench tonight. But Alexander Zinchenko has a calf injury as well. And Mikel Moreno, we all know about the shoulder injury. So Arsenal really not at the biggest strength tonight. Here's De Ketelaere over the halfway line now for Atalanta. De Ketelaere down the right-hand side there And it's a good ball by the captain, Daroon, but he's looking for Zappacosta, but Zappacosta not able to read that, and it goes behind the goal for a goal kick to the Arsenal. David Raya is taking it. You can see the Arsenal fans in that corner behind David Raya's goal. And they brought a fair few. Well, why not? Italy's a lovely country to visit, and I'm sure Bergamo's a lovely city. Here's Jurrien Timmer. Good ball there to the number 6, Gabriel. Gabriel just drops it back to David Raya. And you can see here the ball is given to William Saliba. Gives the ball to Ben White. Back to Saliba. Saliba just drops the ball back. And you can see that it now goes back to David Raya. David Raya clears the ball downfield. For those of you that are following on the screen as well as listening live, thank you for doing that. And it is now back with the number 4, Hein. Hein just drops the ball back there to Jim City, to Zappacosta, and Zappacosta again. Holds the ball up now, just got the ball off De Ketelaere, returns it to De Ketelaere down the right-hand side. De Ketelaere, corner of the penalty area now. He's just going to pull the ball back to the edge of the penalty area to Daroon. Daroon back to Hein, just midway inside the Arsenal half of the field. At the moment, Atalanta sort of really settled down as this half has gone on. Certainly looked like Arsenal were the more threatening team early on, but I have to say it's Atalanta who's settled down as this half has gone on. And that ball is played by Kolasinac. Chasing that one is Lookman. Lookman has it right in the corner down the left-hand side there. He's got Saka in front of him. Good ball to Kolasinac. Kolasinac tries to get past Thomas Partey, but he's not able to do that. And the ball goes behind for a goal kick. And it's Atalanta 0, Arsenal 0. And at the Gewiss Stadium, and the referee has just blown his whistle there now. He's talking to Retegui. Just about something here. I'm not sure exactly what Retegui has done, but yes, he's not. He's having a word with Retegui, and no further action by the referees. With William Saliba now midway inside his own half of the field. Saliba just gives the ball there to the number 5 Partey. It's picked up there by Martinelli, just down the left-hand side. He returns the ball to Gabriel. Gabriel gives the ball back to David Raya. Raya will just take his time. We've got about 5 minutes to go till half-time. It's Atalanta 0, Arsenal 0. I'll just run through the Champions League scores for you at half-time. And then we'll take a 15-minute break before the start of the second half. So far in the Champions League, latest scores. Atletico Madrid 1, RB Leipzig 1, Brest 1, Sturm Graz 0. And Monaco 1, Barcelona 1. Barcelona are down to 10 men in that game as well. And it's now back with the goalkeeper, David Raya. He's going to go long, is David Raya. Over the halfway line, he's looking there for Kai Havertz. Havertz gets a wonderful header on. And just chasing that one is Ben White, but he's not able to make it. And it goes out of play. And it's going to be a throw-in for Atalanta. And just going to see who's going to take this one. Nobody seems to be. The goalkeeper is in fact going over. It's the referee in fact given a free kick instead. It looks like it's going to be a free kick. And Atalanta 0, Arsenal 0. Arsenal will be looking for a great start in this, knowing who they've got coming up next. Atalanta, the same for them. For themselves in this competition, they've got some pretty hard games coming up as well, which include Real Madrid and Barcelona on the menu for Atalanta in this new format of the competition. I'll explain the format for you in case you're still a little bit confused with it. Here's Jim City. I'll give you that information in a moment. The ball is across to Daroon. Daroon gives the ball there to Ederson. It's now down the right-hand side to the number 22, Ruggieri. And Ruggieri plays the ball long. Well, he's looking there for Zappacosta, but it comes off the head of Timmer and goes out of play for a throw-in now down the right-hand side, level with the Arsenal penalty area. Zappacosta just throws the ball down quickly there for Jim City. Jim City across there to Daroon. De picked up by Ederson. Ederson across there to Ruggeri. Ruggeri, can he get the cross in? He can. It goes over everyone's head. Finally, it falls to Di Ketelaere, and it's cleared away. And Arsenal now can break forward with Saka. Just plays the ball forward to Jesus. Jesus tried to hold the ball up, but he failed to maintain control of the ball there. And in fact, it's a free kick, I think. We have an Atalanta player down. So while that's happening, I'll just explain to you how this works. So each team will play 8 games, 4 home and 4 away. They will not be against the same teams. So some teams you'll play at home, some teams you'll play away. The first 8 teams qualify automatically for the next round. Teams in 9 to 24 go into a playoff round to join the rest of the teams in the round of 16. And then it's knockout stage from that point forward. So it's basically that's how it works. That's the long and the short of it. Please don't ask me to explain all the qualifying process because I honestly don't know. And the ball is now with Timmer. Timmer plays the ball forward. And it's held up by Partey. Partey is dispossessed. And it's picked up there by De Ketelaere. And the ball goes out of play. We've got 2 minutes to go until half-time. It's Atalanta 0, Arsenal 0 at the Gewiss Stadium in Bergamo. As Atalanta, they'll be quite happy with the scoreline right now. And it's now back with Gabriel. Gabriel drops the ball back to the goalkeeper, David Raya. David Raya just putting his foot on the ball and he's going to launch this one downfield now. David Raya long downfield, up and trying to win that ball. There is the number 4, Ben White. And it's out of play. Ben White is going to take this throw in. Holds the ball up now, just waiting for the options left and right. Ben White goes for the long throw in into the box. It's chested down and here's Kai Havertz on the edge of the 18-yard box. Drops the ball back here to Partey. Partey to Gabriel. Down the left-hand side here to Martinelli. Martinelli just trying to get away from Zappacosta. Martinelli drops the ball back to Gabriel. Here's Partey. And Gabriel again, and it goes between Gabriel and Martinelli and goes out of play for a throw-in as we approach the 45-minute mark in this first half. And we are still 0-0. I can't imagine there being too much stoppage time, maybe a couple of minutes at the end of this first half. Just the 1 yellow card shown. It's about on the 12th minute there was Ederson's. And it's picked up now by De Ketelaere. De Ketelaere knocks it back to Jim City, who goes all the way back to the goalkeeper, Marco Carnesecchi. Carnesecchi gives the ball there to De Roon gives the ball back to Hines, as we have only a minute, in fact, of stoppage time at the end of this first half at the Gewiss Stadium. You can kind of see where this is going. Looks like we're going to finish 0-0 at half-time at the break. And we'll give you the half-time scores from everywhere else in a moment and the full-time scores. Here's De Roon. And it's picked up by Ederson. De Roon plays the ball down the right-hand side here to Jim City. And it goes out of play, and it's going to be a throw-in to the Arsenal. And it's going to be taken here by Jurrien Timmer. As the ball is played across there to William Saliba. Saliba across there to Ben White. And just picking the ball up in the middle of the park here is Bukayo Saka to Thomas Partey. Nice ball across there to Saliba. Saliba down the right-hand side. And is that half-time? Yes, that is half-time. Our referee blows for half-time at the Gewiss Stadium. There's been 1 or 2 chances for either side. Certainly De Ketelaere with a chance. And Zappacosta with an opportunity for Arsenal. Half chances for Gabriel Martinelli and Gabriel Jesus. But at half-time here, it is Atalanta 0, Arsenal 0. Let's just go through the half-time scores before we take a break. Earlier on today, the scores were Red Star Belgrade 0, Red Star Belgrade 1, Benfica 2. That's pronounced Crvena Zvezda, by the way, in case you're seeing that on your screen. But in English, it's pronounced Red Star Belgrade. Red Star Belgrade 1, Benfica 2. Feyenoord 0, Bayer Leverkusen 4. And the scores in the evening kickoffs: Atalanta 0, Arsenal 0, as you're aware. Real Madrid 1, Leipzig 1. They're in the fourth minute of stoppage time there. Brest 1, Sturm Graz 1. They are also in the fourth minute of stoppage time, and it is half time in Monaco. Monaco 1, Barcelona 1. So we're going to take a break now. We'll be back for the start of the second half. Join us then. Welcome back to the start of the second half. We've had more comments in the comment section. Mike Arneman, hi Mike, hope you're doing really well. Very poor first half from Arsenal. Jesus needs to learn to stay on side. Also surprised by the somewhat strength of the lineup. Well, with this strength of the lineup, Mike, they're still not winning at the moment. So we'll see if anything changes as the second half gets underway. There is no substitutes from either side. Atalanta will get the game back underway, attacking the goal to our left. And I'll just run through the lineups for you in just a moment's time here as Hein lifts the ball forward there, looking for Ruggeri, who heads one actually by Saliba, who heads the ball out of play. And it is a throw-in. So for Atalanta, Marco Konosecki in goal, Said Kolasinac, Isaac Heim, Barak Jimcity, Matteo Ruggeri, Ederson, Matteo Mark Haroun, David Zappacosta, Ademola Lookman, Matteo Retegui, and Charles De Ketelaere. And for Arsenal, David Raya, Jurrien Timmer, Gabriel, William Saliba, Ben White, Kai Havertz, Thomas Partey, Declan Rice, Gabriel Martinelli, Gabriel Jesus wearing the captain's armband, deputising for Martin Odegaard, and Bukayo Saka. So Arsenal have a throw in here midway inside the Atlanta half of the field, and it's to be taken by Ben White. Just steals a few yards there and instead throws it back to Thomas Partey. Partey just gives the ball across there to Bukayo Saka, who releases the ball to Gabriel. Gabriel to Declan Rice. Just cuts into the middle, does Declan Rice, and plays it to Havertz, who lays it off to Thomas Partey. Arsenal playing one-touch football right now, as Gabriel just gives the ball there to Martinelli, to Timmer. Timmer holding the ball up now, drops the ball back to Gabriel once again. You can see a very solid lineup here for Atalanta. When they drop back, they've got 5 there at the back, hoping to cope with Arsenal's attacking prowess. And it's a foul by Thomas Partey, and it's going to be a free kick. The foul is on Kolasinac, and it's going to be a free kick. Just see, it looks like he was he was sandwiched between Kai Havertz and Thomas Partey. Not a particular nice way to be. And the free kick is taken quickly. Here's Ederson. Gives the ball to Ruggeri. Ruggeri plays the ball forward back to Ederson. Ederson sneaks inside the defence. Ederson goes down under pressure, and the referee has given a penalty. There didn't appear to be a lot of contact there, but the referee has given a penalty. This is going to have to be looked at, I would say. And let's take a look here. Well, he's got a hold of his arm, but he goes down very easily. And he goes down, I might add, after he'd released his arm. So I don't know if there's any additional contact there. Let's take a look. So it's into the box goes Ederson. He's being held by Partey. There doesn't appear to be any other contact. And after he lets go of Ederson, then they decide to go down. Now, the penalty is going to be checked. The penalty is going to be checked for a VAR review, and we're going to see whether the penalty will be given. But it's very soft, as Mike said, and I agree. It will be a very harsh penalty to give. But he did have a hold of his arm. Now, whether that was enough, if that was in the middle of the park, would that have been given? Now, normally they have to go on the referee's call unless they can definitively prove it wasn't a foul. So I get the feeling, as soft as this penalty is, it might stand. The only thing that might get Partey off here is the fact that Ederson went down after Partey had released his arm. So we'll see here what the consequence is. The penalty is still being checked. As we take a look again. So first of all, he grabs a hold of the arm outside the box. It continues in the box, but then he goes down after the arm had been released. I think that is a very, very soft penalty, but we'll see anyway. It's being checked. There's a long check here. again, I must say, if it's clear and obvious, it shouldn't take this long. But we've had this discussion so many times here on the channel, and so many times in the mainstream media, this discussion has been brought up as well. But we're going to wait and see what the check is over, and let's see, what has he given? Yes, the penalty stands, so it is a penalty. So, well, penalty Atalanta. So let's see who steps up to take this penalty. And it looks like it's going to be Retegui from the spot. We know how dangerous Retegui is from the penalty spot, and he is going to step up to take the penalty. Kisses the ball, places it on the spot. David Raya may have already had some instructions as to where Retegui is going to place this ball, or where they feel Retegui may place this ball. But it is a penalty, and Arsenal could find themselves one goal down here. Let's see if David Raya can come up with the save. Retegui now just waiting for the referee's whistle. He's almost back to the edge of the penalty area when he takes his run up. And we're just waiting for the referee blows his whistle. Here comes Retegui, taking his time. And it's saved by David Raya! Super save by David Raya! A super double save by David Raya! And David Raya dives to his right-hand side to make the save. It bounced up kindly for Retegui again, and he tried to head the ball in the net, and then David Raya sprung to the other side to make the save to stop it from going in. What a fantastic piece of goalkeeping, I have to say. Oh, that was absolutely fantastic. Oh, the penalty missed by Retegui. They may well regret that, but goodness me, what a piece of goalkeeping. And the corner comes in, it comes right out to the edge of the box to Ederson again. Ederson, it's blocked. And well, this game has just kicked to life, but a penalty miss by Matteo Retegui, and which was a fantastic save from David Raya. And now Arsenal have been, if you will, let off the hook a little bit there. And we'll just get some of the comments in the comment section. Sue Hedges says, "Phew, my heart was in my mouth there." Mike says, "What a double save from the big fella. David Raya is a robot." Yes, I absolutely agree, Mike. What a fantastic piece of goalkeeping. We saw it in a game earlier this season as well. I can't quite remember. I think it was the Brighton game or the Villa game. I can't remember which one it was, but he made a super save in that one as well. But somehow Arsenal maintain their clean sheet at the moment. And the ball is cleared downfield now by the Atalanta goalkeeper, Carnesecchi, and it goes out of play. It's going to be a throw-in. And, well, I just catch my breath a little bit because I got a little overexcited there. And here is Kalashnik. Kalashnik drops the ball there to Darun. Darun plays the ball down the right-hand side, and it's Zappacosta now. Zappacosta drops the ball back, and it's right in the middle of midfield. It's given now to Hines again, and Hines releases the ball down the right-hand side, and Ruggieri gives the ball to Lookman. Lookman, been kept relatively quiet today. Here's Kalashnik. Kalashnik to Hines. Hines, good ball there to Darun. Down the right-hand side to Zappacosta again. And picked up here and dropped back to Darun one more time. And it's Jim City. Gives the ball to De Ketelaere. De Ketelaere holding the ball up here. Corner of the penalty area, right-hand side. Swings it in. It's headed out there by Saliba and hooked away by Bukayo Saka. Bounces in the centre circle, and Hines heads the ball down. And picked up there by Martin Darun. Darun holds the ball. He's got Ederson alongside him, who won that penalty. One being the operative word. Gives the ball there to Ademola Lookman. Lookman just skips inside Partey, but he can't get away from Bukayo Saka. And he gives the ball back to Ben White, who returns the ball back to David Raya, who clears the ball downfield. And it just almost nipped in there by Kai Havertz. And eventually it goes through to the goalkeeper, Marco Konoseki. Konoseki clears the ball downfield. And this game now being played at 100 miles an hour. And William Saliba cuts across there ahead of Retegui to win that ball and plays it back to David Raya. Atalanta 0, Arsenal 0. Russ is interesting. My producer Russ has passed some interesting information on here. Whilst VAR was reviewing the penalty decision, I'm told David Raya walked to the Arsenal bench and got some instruction from the Arsenal backroom staff of Arteta. So I think I mentioned earlier that he did go over there and saw what happened. Yes, it was. You're right, Mike. It was Aston Villa from Ollie Watkins. Here is Ben White. White pulls the ball across the penalty area and it's cleared away. Only as far there. Well, it's found the number 32, Retegui. Retegui holds the ball up and gives the ball to Lookman. But this game is end-to-end. If the game ends 0-0, Sue, it's not extra time. It's just a league match in itself, so it finishes as a draw. And the ball is played forward there from Darun. Darun holds the ball up and gives it to the number 77 for Atalanta, which of course is Zappacosta. And it's now with Edison, gives the ball there to Ruggieri. Ruggieri gives the ball to Lookman, skips inside to Ademola Lookman, and it's won there by Retegui, but dispossessed by Declan Rice. Declan Rice holds the ball up, and he just makes his way back to his own towards his own goal again. And David Raya now has the ball, and he gives the ball there to the number 6, Gabriel. Gabriel to Julien Timmer. The Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz just gets the ball, gives the ball there back to Timmer. Timmer launches the ball forward. Trying to chest the ball down is Gabriel Jesus. But the ball was won back that time by Jim City, and it goes out of play as he cleared the ball forward. It's going to be a throw-in for Arsenal. And we're going to see the first substitution of the game, and it's Jorginho and Trossard are coming on. Jorginho and Trossard are coming on the 57th minute, and Partey and Jesus are coming off. I think Mike called it, Jesus. It's been a disappointing game for him. And Partey and Jesus make way for Trossard and Jorginho. So we'll see whether, as we look at that goal line technology from that fantastic save, it really couldn't have been any closer. It's right on the line that he makes that save. What a crucial save that could prove to be. Well, double substitution for Arsenal. Mikel Arteta is the first to roll his dice, as Thomas Partey and Gabriel Jesus make way for Jorginho and Leandro Trossard. Jorginho given the captain's armband. He was the backup captain, of course, for Arsenal against Spurs. He wore the captain's armband for the head of the injured Martin Odegaard. And David Raya now, who has made basically heroics in this game, keeping it 0-0. As here's Martinelli, just plays the ball forward there. We'll see whether Havertz will just drop now into that number 9 role, and whether Trossard will play on the right side, on the left side of midfield. We'll see whether that happens. I suspect that will be the case. There's Gabriel, and the ball is played forward now, and it's picked up by Havertz. Back to Trossard. Trossard just holding the ball up, and it looks like he is going to play in that right side of midfield role, as the ball is now with Saliba. Saliba gets over the halfway line, gives the ball to Havertz. Havertz drops it down to the number 7, Bukayo Saka. Saka just holds the ball up now, and just turning with the ball there is Jorginho. He gives the ball to Saliba. Saliba just looking for options. There's not a lot about for him. He drops the ball back into his own half to Jorginho. Jorginho goes all the way back to David Raya in the Arsenal goal. Mike says, loved Ramsdale, but we've massively upgraded on him with Raya. Ramsdale just simply doesn't save penalties, where Raya is great at it. And the rebounds as well, apparently, as well, Mike. That really was a super save, wasn't it? And here's White. And White throws the ball forward there, but he's in an offside position, Kai Havertz. And we're going to see the first substitution for Atalanta as well. And we are seeing number 7, Cadredo, come on for De Ketelaere. So Cadredo comes on for De Ketelaere. Cadredo wearing number 7. And it is still 0-0 here, thanks to the heroics of David Raya. But Arsenal haven't created much in this second half, it has to be said. And the throw-in is taken there by Ben White. It's headed out of play that time by Saeed Kolasinac. And Arsenal, Ben White with the throw-in, tries to find Bukayo Saka and headed behind by Hine. And it's going to be a corner for Arsenal with 61 minutes gone in this game. It's Atalanta 0, Arsenal 0. And if you look at the bottom of your screen, you should be seeing the updates of the other Champions League games. Atletico Madrid 1, Leipzig 1, and Brest 2, Girona 1, Monaco 1, Barcelona 1, Barcelona down to 10 men. Earlier on today, Feyenoord lost to Leverkusen 4-0, and Red Star Belgrade lost 2-1 at home to Benfica. Those are your latest scores and full-time scores from the Champions League today on a Thursday, which is a rare time for the Champions League. The corner is going to be taken by Bukayo Saka here. Arsenal substitutes all watching, looking on. It's swung into the back post, and the head's headed down there by Trossard, but nobody was there. In fact, it looks like there's a foul, in fact, there, and the referee has given a free kick. Or whether or not Trossard kept that in play. Let's have a look. It was just kicked away there. It looks like to me that it was actually Kai Havertz there on the back post, and it looks like he just wasn't able to keep that ball in play. Mike says we need to make the set pieces count. I think that's very true. I think Arsenal at the moment, that's their best way forward at the moment. They are lacking something from the creativity side, that's for sure. Here's Jurrien Timmer. Timmer plays the ball forward. Oh, and it's comfortably won back by Hines. Hines just drops the ball into the middle there to the number 15, Darun. And Darun plays the ball down the left-hand side to Jim City. Ball played forward here, and it's picked up by Ruggeri. Ruggeri into the middle, but it's intercepted by Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz wins that ball back, but that's a really, really good challenge by the substitute Cadredo. And there's a free kick now awarded to Atalanta for the foul. And it's taken quickly. Martin Darun takes that free kick. And it's dropped back to Ederson. Ederson plays the ball forward. Just picked up there by Kaderi again. Kaderi, though, this time gives the ball away. And now Bukayo Saka sends it off to Kai Havertz. And Havertz is on his way. Here's Trossard. Lays the ball across there to Jurrien Timmer. The ball is played towards the left-hand side to the Gabriel Martinelli. Martinelli gives it back to Trossard. Trossard tries to play the ball in the middle, and it goes behind for a goal kick. Arsenal 0, Atalanta 0. Got a couple more comments in the comment section. Russ says he thinks it's going to be a 0-0 draw today. I don't think he's too far wrong right now, to be honest. And looks like we're going to see another substitute coming up for Atalanta. Is that going to be now? No. Is Marco Konosecki going to take the goal kick? He does. And he clears the ball downfield. And up in the air there is Gabriel Jesus winning that. It's knocked on by Jorginho. Across to Timmer. Timmer knocks the ball back there to Gabriel, who goes back to the goalkeeper, David Raya. Here's Declan Rice. Declan Rice. Back to Timmer. Plays the ball forward there, but again, it's wayward. And Arsenal do win the ball back, though, but they give it away again. And the header is won there by Cordero. And Cordero now under pressure by Ben White, but he's alleged to have fouled him. And the other substitute just waiting to come on. I'm just trying to see who that is down there. He's wearing number 10, so it's Nicola Zaniolo who is readying himself to come on. I'm not surprised we may see him today as Lookman is limping, and that is not good news for Atalanta, because at the weekend, of course, they have a big Serie A game against Como and one against Bologna in the space of 5 days, so they can't afford to lose Lookman, but it looks like that might be the case. Here's Kolasinac, and the ball is played across there to Jim City. Jim City gets the ball back there off Zappacosta, and it's back to Hein. Hein again now holds the ball up, gives it to Ederson. Ederson back to Hein inside his own half of the field. Neither really of these sides have really looked absolutely fantastic tonight. Here's Lookman again. Gives the ball to Zappacosta. Zappacosta. And it's now with Jim City. Jim City plays the ball forward to Lookman again. Skittles down the right-hand side to Zappacosta. The cross coming in, and the header is won there by Saliba. But the heads, well, it does clear out of the defence, but only as far as Hein. As Atalanta put the pressure on again, it's Jim City. Zappacosta. Zappacosta holds the ball up to Jim City. Jim City there drops the ball back to Martin Darun. Ederson. Good play this by Atalanta. The build-up is good. It's across there to Cordero. Cordero lines up for the shot. Oh, he just clears the crossbar, and that was mighty close. And Atalanta, well, that just shaves, just clears the crossbar by, it's got to be an inch. That was very, very close, and I'm not sure that David Raya was reaching that one. That really was a super strike. And Mike says, shows our lack of depth in that position after selling Emil Smith-Rowe and loaning out Vieira. Well, I think that's probably true. And it's cleared downfield by David Raya, but Hein wins the ball and clears it on. Arsenal still 0-0, and the ball is down the right-hand side to Zappacosta as Atalanta come forward. Zappacosta tries to get the ball in. It's a really good block, though, by Gabriel. And it's picked up again by Darun. He gives the ball to Jim City. Jim City tries to launch the ball in, but it hits William Saliba. And the ball is given away by Trossard as Arsenal frantic to win the ball back. It's cleared out of play by Jurrien Timmer, and it's going to be a throw-in for Atalanta, level with the Arsenal penalty area. Here's Darun now. Gives the ball to Kolasinac. Kolasinac down the right-hand side to the number 7 there, Cordero. He's a substitute. Darun lifts the ball into the box. Heads go up, and David Raya will just pluck that ball and release it very quickly, but he almost takes the ball outside the penalty area and slips in his process. But no damage done there by David Raya. Arsenal have possession. And it's now with Gabriel. Back to the goalkeeper, David Raya. He may choose to go for the long ball here with 22 minutes left. As in about 20 minutes time, I'll be naming my man of the match. Already a few names in mind, but we'll see how the rest of this game goes. It's cleared downfield and headed on. Just trying to win that ball there was Kai Havertz. It's won in the midfield there by the substitute for Arsenal, which is... Oh, I've forgotten his name. Trossard. I had a blank for a second now. I forgot the substitute. My mind went completely blank. I had a total blank. Trossard it is, in fact. I don't know. Mike says I was hoping we'd be 1 or 2 up now. We could see Anwari for 20 minutes. It actually might not be a good idea. It might not be a bad idea, Mike. I can actually bring him on anyway. It'll be a good test for him in an environment like this. But we're going to see a double substitution now for for Atalanta. Bellanova is joining the other substitute, which is Zaniolo. And coming off here, we're just going to take a look at the two coming off. I'm just not quite sure who they were. The two coming off for Atalanta. I'll just get you that information. Zappacosta and Retegui are coming off. So Zappacosta off and Retegui are coming off, and coming on is Zaniolo and Bellanova, wearing 10 and 16 respectively. And so first double change for Atalanta. Retegui will be disappointed with a penalty miss, and Arsenal now looking to create some opportunities with Trossard down the right-hand side. Trossard holds the ball up and drops it back there to Saliba and to Gabriel. And the ball is played by Timmer down the right-hand side there to Kai Havertz, down the left-hand side to Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz has got the substitute in front of him, Bellanova. He drops the ball back, though, to Jorginho. Jorginho gives the ball there to Gabriel. Gabriel to Kai Havertz again. Go down under the challenge from Bellanova. Nothing given by the referee, and Bellanova now releases the ball to Ederson. De Roon. Played across now down the right-hand side to Kadoro. Kadoro goes down under the challenge of Bukayo Saka, and the referee stops play here. Kadoro just tripped there, and the free kick is taken quickly. It's taken by De Roon, and it's dropped down to the right-hand side to Bellanova. Just taking up the position left by Lookman. Left by Zappacosta. There is the number 7, Kadoro. And now gives the ball to Retegui. Not Retegui, sorry. That was Regari. And with 18 minutes to go, it's 0-0. As Arsenal making a change, and they're bringing on Ricardo Calafiore and Raheem Sterling, who is the first Englishman to represent 4 different teams in the Champions League. Timmer and Saka are making way, and Calafiore and Sterling are coming on. So we'll get to have a look at Sterling now, and Ricardo Calafiore as well. We'll see whether Sterling can add some creativity and goal-scoring threat maybe to this Arsenal side. Let's look at the comments in the comment section. I think the Arsenal goalkeeper should get man of the match. Come on, Arsenal, get a goal. True, reckon we might see Sterling first, though. Sterling is on as it stands, so we're going to get a good look at Sterling. And the ball is back with Gabriel, who drops it back to the goalkeeper, David Raya. No secrets given away on player of the match just yet, Sue, but I'll take your thoughts into consideration. But David Raya launches the ball downfield, and it's headed on there. That time by Regari, and here's Lookman. Lookman, he's trying to be dispossessed there. Eventually, Ben White tries to get the ball back, and it's Kadero with a shot from about 30 yards, just curls the ball wide. And Atalanta coming closer and closer. And I have to say that Atalanta really in this second half have looked the more dangerous team for me. And you can see here Kadero just curls a shot. I think David Raya probably had that covered, but still, nevertheless, this is not what we're used to seeing from Arsenal, that's for sure. We've got 16 minutes to go. The goal from David Raya, and it's cleared downfield. Well brought down by Kai Havertz. Is he able to keep possession? He does. He gives the ball to Sterling, and the ball is through now with a real chance, and it's ballooned over the crossbar by Gabriel Martinelli. Oh, what a chance! And that is the best chance for Arsenal in this game. It's a superb pass from Sterling to Gabriel Martinelli. And you have to say that really he should have hit the target from there. Oh, that is a chance there. Ross advising me that Juan Cadero is ex-Udinese, Lecce, Fiorentina, Chelsea, Juventus and Inter Milan. Thanks, Ross. What an opportunity. Sue says he should have scored, and he should have scored. That should have been a goal, but he ballooned it over the crossbar, and that was certainly Arsenal's best chance of the match. But it's interesting to see that now Raheem Sterling's on, that creativity is there at the moment. Throw into Arsenal, midway inside the Arsenal half of the field. And it's taken, throwing is taken and thrown to Gabriel Martinelli. He's brought down, is he? The referee says yes, foul by Kolasinac. And it's a free kick for Arsenal. As the complaints coming in there for the foul on, it's actually on Kai Havertz from Kolasinac. And the free kick is about a yard inside from the touchline on that left-hand side. And it's going to be swung in. It's a very dangerous position, and Declan Rice is going to be the one to deliver this. And we'll see what Arsenal can do with that. They've got Saliba in there, Ben White in there, Calafiore, Havertz, all in there, lurking with intent. The Arsenal fans in the corner behind that goal. We're watching with hope. The Atalanta fans looking nervously on. Free kick is going to be taken by Declan Rice. Martinelli in there too. Oh, it's a very disappointing free kick by Declan Rice. It went over everybody's head and cleared the crossbar and went behind for a goal kick to Atalanta. And the look on the Arsenal fans' face kind of tells its own story there. Definitely not exactly enthralled with this performance. And really, that's been the story of Arsenal's day today. They've not created enough. The passing links in midfield have not been there. There is no question they're missing Martin Odegaard, in my opinion. They're missing his creativity in midfield. They're missing winning the ball back in midfield, the running that he does. The little things, really. Here's Zaniolo for Atalanta. Zaniolo gives the ball to Cadero. Down the right-hand side there by Darun to Jim City. Back to Darun. Played forward there. That's a good interception that time. By Declan Rice, and now here's Sterling. Sterling releases the ball to Trossard. He's just inside his own half of the field, tries to find Calafiore, but that's won back by the captain, Martin Darun. And it's sent back to the goalkeeper, Marco Carnesecchi. Well, Atalanta 0, Arsenal 0, with PSG coming up. Shortly after the Man City game, Arsenal would have hoped that they might have got a win in this game, just to set themselves off on the right foot. I mean, certainly I would have thought they'd be looking for a top 8 finish. But we'll see how it goes. David Raya has the ball at his feet right now. And he releases it quickly. And there's Calafiore. Drops the ball back there to the number 20, Jorginho there. Jorginho, ball goes back to the goalkeeper, David Raya. And there's Trossard. Gives the ball to Ben White. White to William Saliba, who gives the ball to Declan Rice. Declan Rice across to Gabriel. Gabriel tries to find Gabriel Martinelli as well there, but the ball goes out of play. It's a disappointing ball by Gabriel. Throw in to Atalanta midway inside the Arsenal half of the field. And here's Hein. Hein gives the ball to the number 22 there, Ruggieri, and it's now with Zaniolo. Nicola Zaniolo tries to get the cross in, and nobody was taking a gamble on that cross from Zaniolo, and David Raya is just able to fall on that and make the save. As we look on at the Atalanta manager, that's Gian Piero Gasparini. Well, he's going to be happy with what he's seen so far from his Atalanta team. They've certainly looked the most threatening team in this second half, as the ball goes out of play from that clearance, and the throw-in taken quickly by Cadero, and it goes back to the goalkeeper Carnesecchi, who clears the ball downfield, but it's won back by William Saliba. Saliba looking for options left and right. There's just no movement there from the Arsenal. Here's Calafiori now, though. Calafiori gives the ball to Trossard. Trossard lifts the ball into the middle, looking for Kai Havertz. But Nicola Zaniolo just watches that ball go behind for a goal kick. And, well, we've got 10 minutes to go at the Gewiss Stadium here in the city of Bergamo in Italy. And it's still 0-0. And neither side at least really looks that threatening on goal right now. Arsenal certainly don't. Atalanta have had their chances. And it's headed on. And Sterling just tries to bring that ball down, but it breaks loose to Ben White. Ben White there just plays it off Zaniolo, and it's going to be a throw-in to Arsenal. 0-0 as we go into the final, the home stretch of this game. And Arsenal, well, they've got, of course, Manchester City on Sunday, a game in which you can hear on the commentary hub. I will be covering that game, Manchester City versus Arsenal. Russ, I believe, will be presenting that game, but do join us for that. Manchester City versus Arsenal, 4:20 UK time this Sunday afternoon. Throwing for Arsenal now, almost level with the halfway line, taken with Ben White. Drop back to Declan Rice. Declan Rice across to Ricardo Calafiori. Calafiori drop to Jorginho. And it's Gabriel now as readying another substitute. There is Atalanta. Not quite sure who it is, but here's Gabriel. Plays the ball forward to Sterling. Sterling just turning away from Hines. Does a quick 1-2 with Calafiori. Calafiori gets the ball back now. Let's see what options there is for Arsenal now. And it's Declan Rice right inside the centre circle. Just a quick 1-2 with Leandro Trossard. Arsenal just passing the ball around right now. They're being pressed back a little bit by Atalanta. And here's Trossard. Oh, good ball by Trossard down the right-hand side to Ben White. Ben White moves to the middle. Well, he wanted to set Kai Havertz off on his way. Havertz didn't read it, and it just goes straight through to the goalkeeper. Sue's asking how much stoppage time there'll be. Well, I think there hasn't been a great deal of stoppages in this game. I can't imagine there being much more than about 2 minutes. Zaniolo currently on loan from Atalanta, from Villa, by the way. And here is Trossard. Trossard tried to set off Martinelli on his way, but there is Zaniolo, who's come on and it's been quite effective since he's been on. He returns it back to the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper, Marco Carnesecchi. Here's Jorginho. And it's now with Gabriel. Gabriel holds the ball up. It's a good ball to Trossard. Trossard, though, just taking the ball inside his own half of the field. And he gives the ball to the number 2, William Saliba. Saliba again, and gives the ball to Declan Rice. Declan Rice just outside the centre circle, inside his own half. He's looking for options. He drops the ball back to Gabriel. As Arsenal being pressed back into their own half here. Saliba plays the ball across to Gabriel. They're now right at their own penalty area. Gabriel goes for the long ball. It's chested down by Kai Havertz, looking for Trossard, but nipping in and winning the ball back is Martin Deroon. And now with the ball is Hines. Hines drops the ball back into his own half. And the substitute just still waiting to come on at the moment. And it's Hines again. And it's dropped down there to Ruggieri. And it goes all the way back now to Carnesecchi. As at the moment, Atalanta just keeping possession themselves. And Carnesecchi goes long, looking for the chasing Nicola Zaniolo, and it's just headed out of play by Gabriel there, just stopping Zaniolo in his tracks. But with 6 minutes to go, it's going to be a double substitution. It'll be the last 2 substitutes that Arsenal have as our 4th official. Stephanie Frappart just organising the board there. As the two waiting to come on. Throw in for Atalanta, level with the 6-yard box for level with the Arsenal 6-yard box. And here's Hines. Pressure on by Atalanta right now, looking for a winning goal. Here's Darun. Zaniolo. Rigeri. Zaniolo. Hine. Kolasinac. And it's with Kadora, I should say. And there's Kolasinac again. Kadora again. Kolasinac. Ederson. Kolasinac. Just over the halfway line. Drops the ball there to Rigeri. Ederson. Oh, he just gives the ball away there to Ben White. Ben White gives the ball there to Trossard. Trossard trying to find Sterling there, but Sterling not able to bring the ball under control. And I'm just going to pass on my man of the match to my producer, Ross Vernon, and I'll be announcing that in about 2 minutes' time, the player of the match in this one. And here is the number 7, Kadora. Kadora plays the ball across. Zaniolo, 40 yards out. Is under pressure there by Trossard. He gives the ball to Ederson. Ederson, good ball there to Lookman. Can Lookman sneak inside? Oh, a super challenge. Great piece of defending that time. And Lookman almost snuck inside the defence, but Ben White, that was very smart defending. And Lookman now is going to take the corner. And it's going to be swung in. Ademola Lookman swings the ball in, and it's just headed in the air by Gabriel. Finally clapped away that time by Trossard. But Arsenal now under pressure, and they have been really for much of this second half. They've been the second best in my opinion. Here's Darun, and well, he gives the ball there to Kolasinac. Back to Darun as we've got about 3 minutes to go plus stoppage time in this game. We are still 0-0, and it goes back to the goalkeeper, and he releases it to Kolasinac. Kolasinac has got Rigeri forward, but he's going to hold the ball up. Is Kolasinac. Gives the ball to Hines. Hines gives the ball to Jim City. Are we going to see those final 2 substitutes for Atalanta? It doesn't look like it. And the ball now is played down this near side to Rigeri. Rigeri down the left-hand side does a quick 1-2 with Kadera, but he loses the ball. And is it going to be a free kick to Arsenal? It is, for the foul there on Raheem Sterling. Looks like he was just caught by Kadera late there. So a free kick as time is ticking down. And at the next stoppage in play, I will announce my man of the match. As Paslic and Schmadzik is coming on here now, finally, on 88 minutes. Paslic and Schmadzik. We'll just see who is coming off. Lookman and Rigeri are coming off, so Ademola Lookman goes off, and so does Rigeri. And on in his stead is Mario Pasalic and Marco and Lazar Smadzik. So it is a free kick which David Raya will take. And the ball is cleared forward. Yeah, media, radio, jingles and gaming says looks like it's going to be a draw, a 0-0 draw. It's probably heading that way for sure. The ball is goes out of play, and it's a throw-in for Arsenal, which Ben White will take. And Arsenal looking to maybe press here. It's level with the Atalanta penalty area. Ben White taking his time here, and he could end up facing a booking if he's not careful. And Raheem Sterling just tries to get the better of Kolasinac, and in the end going down from a foul there by Raheem Sterling. Trying to see who that is. Yes, that is the captain, Martin de Roon. Ederson, I should say. And it's going to be a free kick for Atalanta. So today's man of the match, as sponsored by Commentary Services, I'm going to give it to David Raya for the penalty save and the save after that. It's made the biggest impact on the game. There's no doubt in my mind that Arsenal will be losing this game if it wasn't for David Raya. So today's man of the match, as sponsored by Commentary Services, goes to Arsenal's number 22, David Raya. And the free kick is going to be taken by Marco Konosaki. And he clears the ball downfield. It's just brought down that time and just cleared away, though, just before the substitute Pasalic could bring the ball under control. And it goes back to the goalkeeper, David Raya, the aforementioned man of the match, as it's cleared downfield, but it will go out of play. Not his best clearance today, as Kolasinac just yells something back at Sterling. Not happy with him for some reason. We're going to have 4 minutes stoppage time at the end of this game. I'd say that's a little bit liberal, if I'm being perfectly honest, but it is 4 minutes stoppage time. Media Radio Jingles and Gaming says, looking at this, it's an okay result for Arsenal. No Odegaard away from home. So if it stays like this, it will be an okay result. It could have got worse or better. Well, yes, it certainly could have been worse. Here's Ederson. Ederson holds up the ball, but he's trying to be dispossessed there by Havertz. And now Zaniolo is going forward. He's under pressure by Ben White, but he gets away from Ben White. But a wonderful challenge coming back there by Kai Havertz to deny Zaniolo from getting that cross in. And it's going to be a corner for Atalanta. And it's going to be taken by Cordero. It's on the left-hand side. He's going to swing this one in. And we've had a minute and a half of the 4 minutes stoppage time. Cordero is looks like he's going to in-swing this one. Nicola Zaniolo having a word between him and Declan Rice, just making sure everything is in order before this free kick is taken by Cordero. It's going to swing this one in. The heads go up, but it looks like it's Gabriel who gets the head on that. It's headed back in there by Ederson and picked up on the far side by the substitute Schmadek. Schmadek just holds the ball up, making his way towards the middle of the area, but he can't. Finally, it's cleared away, and it breaks loose. And here's a chance now, as Schmadek tried to make his way into the penalty area, but David Raya read that well, and he plucks the ball out of the air, and it's going to be time for him to take the pace out of the game and releases it to William Saliba. So 0-0 here. We have a game for you on Sunday. The game, Manchester City versus Arsenal. Join us at 4:20 for that. Russ will be presenting that game, and I will be in the commentator's chair for that one. The ball is launched forward, looking for Kai Havertz, but it's won back by Martin de Roon, who hacks the ball out of play for a throw-in to Arsenal. That'll be a very interesting game, a much tougher game for Arsenal, I would say, than what they have to face today. So that will be a very hard game, given the understrength that Arsenal has in their team right now with the injuries. Saliba gives the ball to Ben White. White returns the ball to Saliba. It's now with Declan Rice. Across to Gabriel. We're inside the last minute of stoppage time. That ball is launched forward by Gabriel, but it goes out of play. And it's going to be a throw-in which Berat Jim City will take. Actually decides to leave it. And it's going to be taken by the substitute, Raul Bellanova. Bellanova takes this one, throws it quickly. It's won there by Trossard, who launches the ball in the air and headed down that time by Havertz. It's now with Declan Rice. Declan Rice gives the ball there to Saliba. Saliba, good work from him, finds Calafiore. Calafiore forward to Kai Havertz. The ball is played down the right-hand side there by Saliba. To the left-hand side, and it's swung in and plucked up out of the air And that's it. It is full time as the goalkeeper Karnaseki plucks that ball out of the air. It's a 0-0 draw. It's an okay result for Arsenal. The performance wasn't the best, and they'll certainly have to be at a much higher level if they're going to compete with Manchester City on Sunday. But it's full time here, and it is Atalanta 0, Arsenal 0 from the Gewiss Stadium. Just before we wrap up, I'm going to give you the scores in the Champions League for today. And they are as follows. So they are Atletico Madrid 2, Leipzig 1. That's in the 3rd minute of stoppage time. Monaco 2, Barcelona 1. They're in the 5th minute of stoppage time. And Brest 2, Sturm Graz 1, also in the 5th minute of stoppage time. Of course, we're full time here, 0-0. Red Star Belgrade lost earlier on today to Benfica 2-1. And Feyenoord were humbled by Leverkusen 4-0 at home. I want to thank you, everyone who's listened in today, everyone who's commented. We really appreciate your comments. We really appreciate you spending your valuable time with us for this game. Hope you'll join us on Sunday. Manchester City versus Arsenal, 4:20. Join us for that. Thank you once again. Bye for now.